What's up everybody, Jay here, and in this video I wanted to go over a few things for those of you who are coming back to Destiny 2 and getting ready for Edge of Fate. Now if you're a veteran player, I want you to stay and watch the video and let me know down in the comments if there's anything I missed, like builds, weapons, or other things that you think new players or returning players should definitely get their hands on before Edge of Fate. So one thing I do want to start off with, and this may be a little controversial, I don't think it is, but that's just me, is I would consider taking the time to go and play the final shape. I know that's me asking you to spend money right away, and if you don't want to spend money and you want to play free to play, just get into the Edge of Fate because you're buying that DLC. That's perfectly fine. The only reason I'm suggesting you go get the final shape is because of prismatic and exotic class items. These exotic class items are very strong. They're used in all kinds of builds, whether you're a Titan, a Hunter, or a Warlock. So you definitely want to try to go get those. On top of that, prismatic is very strong also. So playing the final shape not only gets you that story, which is very good, but also all of that power. So definitely consider going doing that. If you don't want to, again, that's perfectly fine. You're already buying the Edge of Fate. You're already spending that money, so play the new stuff. Of course, that makes sense. So you're loading up Destiny, you're coming back, and what's something that you need to do right away when you get in? You want to head over to where Dares of Eternity is and click the right of the 9 tab. It's an event going on right now where you can play 3 dungeons for free and get all the loot revamped for those dungeons. You want to go to the social hub and you want to go and get the gift of the 9. You're going to get an exotic weapon, an exotic armor piece, and a full set of armor and weapons that are max power. This is important because say you haven't played in a long time, you didn't grind power this episode or this season's. This gives you the chance to get all this gear, infuse some of your old gear, or just throw this gear on and get right to doing what's new right now. You don't have to power grind. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to be up to power or struggling. You can get all of this gear, throw it on, and go right into what you want to do. So definitely do that. First thing you do when you load up, it's free. Definitely go do that. Now that you have that, before you decide you want to infuse some stuff, let's get into some of the builds I think you're going to want to have going into Edge of Fate. All right, so here we are on my Hunter, and I want to go over, starting with the Hunter, the builds that I think you should be taking into Edge of Fate. Now, these builds are not going to be reliant on any artifact mods, as we don't know what's going to be in the artifact. We've gotten some clues. Some content creators got to go and play an early build, but that may change. So I'm going to start off with my favorite build on the Hunter, and that is a volatile prismatic build. Now, let's just start with the subclass here. We're going to throw on Shadow Shot because I like to use that for ad control and debuffing. We're going to have our Smoke Grenade. We're going to have our Grapple for movement. We're going to run Winter Shroud and Stylus Executioner. Now, I particularly like Winter Shroud because you grapple in, get that melee grenade hit, dodge to slow everything, and then everything is affected by a stasis debuff. So when you kill something with any weapon you have, you go invisible because of Stylus Executioner here. And rinse and repeat, you'll proc something that gives you volatile. I'll show you that in a little bit. And then it just flows into itself constantly. For fragments, Facet of Dawn to make us radiant, gives us a little damage boost whenever we weaken something. Facet of Protection, so when we go in, we have a little more resistance. Facet of Devotion, so when we defeat something with stasis or strand debuffs, like when we dodge with our Winter Shroud, we get bonus light energy. Facet of Solitude, because you're going to be hitting a lot of critical shots, as you should be. So this will also sever things around, also activating Facet of Devotion because it's a strand debuff. And Facet of Courage, which just says my Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted by darkness debuffs. That's all it is. Now, Faceted Courage can be swapped out if you want to run something like Combination Blow or your Knife Trick. So that's a very simple build. It flows already into itself kind of really good. Now, this is why I told you to try and go get Final Shape, because our exotic class item here really brings everything together. So we have Spirit of Immos Light and Spirit of the Gerfalcon. So Immos Light is going to improve our other two abilities whenever we use one. So you pop your grapple, it's gonna improve your melee, your snare, and if you throw your snare once it's activated, that'll improve your other grapple and dodge. So you're gonna be spamming those, using them as often as you can. So that's good to have. And then Spirit of Gerfalcon brings it all together, again, with the Void Volatile build that I like. Your Void weapons gain volatile rounds after you emerge from being invisible. This is very good because if you have something that doesn't have destabilizing rounds, or if you do have something with destabilizing rounds and you just go invisible, this gives you volatile right off the bat. You don't have to worry about killing something first or killing something that's debuffed. Say you don't have your grapple, you don't have your dodge, you don't have your snare bomb, you don't have anything. Something with destabilizing rounds will help, but you're always going to have something up. So this is what I like to have. Void weapons, volatile rounds. It just goes really, really well all together in this build. Now let's look at the weapons, which is very important because I like to have something with destabilizing rounds just in case, because I want that void volatile to just constantly be up, constantly be going. And I actually recently switched this out. I had the Recluse here with with Repulsor Brace and Desperate Measures, but I recently switched to this bow and I am enjoying it even more. This is the bow you can get from the Heresy episode, the current episode we're in, the current season we're in. So if you log in today, you can go get this. If you have the battle pass, it's in the battle pass, I believe. A very good roll. This is my god roll. Most people want Dragonfly instead of Successful Warm-Up, but I like Successful Warm-Up. And then destabilizing rounds, obviously, to continue with that volatile theme. This bow hits really, really hard. It's a lightweight frame, so it feels very good to have and use. And I have just fallen in love with this bow. It one-shots most red bars, so you're going to be getting volatile procs off of that very quickly. And then it hits really hard because it's the bow for majors, so it continues that theme. Very good bow. I suggest you go and use this, or use anything that is void and has some sort of void keyword, like Repulsor Brace that gives you a overshield on when you defeat something that has a void debuff, or destabilizing rounds that gives you more volatile as you void debuff things. Next, I have Corrective Measure in my power slot here, my heavy. This is just my personal machine gun that I like to use. If you have a hammerhead from Into the Light that you can still go get, if you have that, you can still go play Onslaught and still go get one. That's going to be good too. I like Corrective Measure because it is just, I like Volta Glass. It's my favorite raid. I like this weapon. But one thing that does put this above all other void machine guns is the Origin perk. It says final blows with this weapon grant bonus super energy, and when your super expires, this weapon's magazine size is doubled for a long duration and reloads from reserves. This is awesome. It's so good. You just have a machine gun that feels like you can shoot forever, especially since I have backup mag here, 83 bullets in the magazine, doubled, and it is just awesome. You pop your tether, everything's tethered, you bust this out and you just mow enemies down. It's perfect. And then here in your primary slot, I have Tenacious Mastery. Now this sidearm is very good, especially with Chill Clip, because it has a it's a rocket assisted sidearm, which is very good. Chill Clip works on Unstoppables, and this season we have, I believe, uh, shield piercing sidearms. So this actually works for all 3 champions, since Overload says stasis slow effects work on Overload. So you shoot 1 or 2 bullets, it slows down. It does a frost effect on the champion, which works for overloads. Unstoppable shatter effect. So you shoot a few more times after that slow effect happens. They freeze, they shatter, unstop, and then we have piercing sidearms. So I just have to shoot once at the barrier and it works. So get yourself something like this. With chill clip, any primary with chill clip, I suggest you take, because it does work for both. I just have the sidearm because we have anti-barrier sidearms right now, so it's very good. Um, there is also Riptide, I believe, that you can still get from the Crucible if you want to play the Crucible. That one, I believe, comes with chill clip. Other than that, just something in your primary to help you with champs. As far as boss damage goes, you're going to be using your corrective measure. You can throw on a rocket once you get to a boss phase or something like that. This is just my favorite build. It works for everything. I use it all the time. I hardly ever take this off unless I'm using a like dungeon boss, raid boss damage, which I will show you next. Okay, here is my boss DPS build with Celestial Nighthawk. Now, this also has a weapon that came from the final shape, and it is using prismatic. So obviously Nighthawk here, you know what it does. It shoots one big golden gun bullet. Let's take a look at our still hunt here. This is the golden gun sniper. You shoot enough crits, you charge one golden gun shot in your sniper, and because of because of Celestial Nighthawk, it'll do one big shot and it will do massive damage. So this is very, very good. It synergizes well. Great DPS, rocket launcher for DPS because we're going to use solar surges, so that works for both. And then Fatebringer, good old Fatebringer, just a workhorse, hand cannon, explosive payload, firefly. Again, go get it from Volta Glass. It's very good, has the same trait as corrective measure. Or you can just use any primary that you prefer. Hand cannon, pulse rifle, auto rifle, anything you want. This is just for trash mobs that you're going to be mowing down. Still hunt's going to be for your bigger bosses, for your bigger majors and bosses, and then obviously your rocket for bosses. For our prismatic, we're going to rock obviously golden gun. We're going to have our threaded spike here so that we can sever enemies, grapple, Winter Shroud, and Stylus Executioner. So not only are you getting the benefit of Celestial Nighthawk and Golden Gun, you're also going invisible whenever you defeat something that is affected by some sort of buff, whether that be a light debuff or a darkness debuff. So Sever counts. Radiant makes us damage boosted. Protection, again, Stasis or Strand debuffs. Bonus Light Transcendence, Facet Solitude, because that will sever and that counts towards Stylish. And then Faceted Sacrifice. While you have an Arc Solar Void buff, ability Final Blows grant Darkness, Transcendence, Energy. Now look over here at the light buffs. It says Amplified, Bolt Charge, Cure, Radiant Restoration, Devour, Invisibility, and Overshield. We're going to be going invisible all the time. We'll get Darkness, Transcendence, Energy. Perfect. This build works very, very well. I love this build. I haven't been using it this season in particular just because Solar isn't super strong right now. Still Hunt, I didn't really need the Still Hunt. I was using Queen's Breaker because that was crazy, which we'll go over weapons a little later. But this build is something I take everywhere with me if I get to a boss phase in the story mode and I am having trouble hitting damage numbers or a damage like wall with my volatile build. I'll throw this on because it works very well and I can just chunk bosses down. Now the next build is similar but slightly different for different reasons. Okay, now you'll notice that this build is pretty similar. It's pretty much the exact same build. Celestial Nighthawk, same subclass setup. However, our weapons are very different. This is more of a support type boss damage build. So this is for more when you're running a raid, a dungeon, and you don't have, say, like a warlock, or you don't have a way to uh, debuff your boss. We're gonna be having tractor cannon here. This is my favorite debuff uh, situation. Something that you can easily just fire and debuff a boss, let your team do more damage, and let yourself do damage with other things. So the reason I'm not using Shadow Shot here is because Shadow Shot doesn't stack with every type of uh, damage buff. So like particle, I believe it like clashes, or you can't have certain things stacking. And I don't know every which way that debuff stack. I'm not that deep into the spreadsheets, but I have Tractor Cannon here to help with the debuff. I have Celestial Nighthawk for damage. And then I have Lost Signal here, which you can get from the very first episode of this era. It's our first area denial frame. It's strand. It's stasis, which is very, very important because you're going to want to get something with auto loading and something else in your second slot. I like One for All. I would probably get something like Demo 2. Demo would be good. Or something like auto loading and dang, I forgot what, there's another one I forgot, but definitely auto loading. You want auto loading because you're going to be firing this to get your transcendence energy. You're going to want a light weapon in your secondary. I chose Zauli's Bane because this weapon is very good for me. I like the explosive payload incandescent row I have. Haven't used it this season very much, obviously, but it's very good. You're gonna want to farm your transcendence energy as quickly as possible so that you can get your transcendence grenades to do damage. You have your aerial denial grenade launcher to do damage, and then your celestial nighthawk to do damage. That's gonna be your damage for this build. You're just gonna debuff tractor cannon, aerial denial frame, and then pop your super, shoot tractor cannon again. So everyone else is getting buffed. You're debuffing the boss, and then pop transcendence and throw your grenades until you're doing damage. And you're just gonna throw a grenade, lost signal, shoot a couple times with your primary tractor cannon. Lost signal will be reloaded because of auto loading. Throw your transcendence grenade again. Lost signal, go down the list again. That's what this build is. This is when I whip this out whenever I need something to support, and it's not my job to do damage like necessarily. So keep this in mind. Keep this in your back pocket just in case you need it. I don't really use this build other than when I absolutely need to bust out tractor cannon. Now let's go over to the warlock and see what builds they're gonna want to take. Warlocks, here is your builds. I have two that I think you should take, just like my hunter, although it was three builds, but one was the same as the other one, just a little different. I think these builds are going to stay pretty strong. This build in particular, I put a video out at the beginning of the season showcasing this build, and even though we have a lot of artifact mods that pertain to this build, I think it's still going to be strong, particularly because of my secondary weapon. Now we have Geomax stabilizers here. This is going to be a pure arc build. Why is that? Because we're going to be using the new aspect Ionic Sentry. I'm not going to go over this build in too deep. If you want an in-deep build guide on this, definitely go watch my other video. I go in deep into it, how it works, how stuff happens, how it all synergizes and stuff like that. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to get bolt charge from this. You're going to create your arc turret, throw that out. That's going to get bolt charge. That's going to amplify things, amplify you, jolt, everything. And it's just going to roll into one another. We're going to be using Ionic Sentry, Electrostatic Mind, Ions, Discharge, Shock, and Feedback with our Flashbang here. Now, the thing that brings this build all together is the exotics I have here and my secondary weapon. So Fatebringer is the workhorse. Obviously, we need any primary just to defeat red bars. Geomags, you know what it does. It extends your chaos reach and it gives you back energy depending on... Wait, am I talking on my ass? Collecting ionic traces gives you energy for your chaos reach. And sprinting while max bolt charge will grant you stacks over time. So if you have some bolt charge while you're close to the end of it, max stacks, you sprint and you'll just get more stacks. But really what you want to focus on is the extended chaos reach and collecting ionic traces to get more super. Now we have that. We have our build. So let's take a look at our secondary. Now this secondary comes from the Heresy episode. So if you hop in anytime before Edge of Shape, you'll be able to get this grenade launcher, and I think you should definitely go get it because it's very, very good, very, very strong. And that's Psycho Pump. And it's an arc aerial denial frame grenade launcher. Now, why is this important? It's important because of this. Rolling Storm. Final blows grant bolt charge, and while amplified, final blows grant additional bolt charge. So you're going to be amplified constantly because of your subclass. And this is going to be granting you bolt charge on top of the bolt charge you're already going to be getting from your subclass. So you're going to be just raining down lightning strikes everywhere around you. Especially since this is a area denial frame. If there's a horde of enemies, you can just spray it across them. It'll destroy them, give you bolt charge, and then your next shot will let those lightning strikes go off, and then that will roll into itself and you can keep going. Now, the role you want is something with Rolling Storm and Ambitious Assassin, in my opinion, because once you get those kills before with your first shot, when you reload, you're going to have 2 shots. So you're going to be able to get even more bolt charge, even faster, and then even more electric strikes, lightning strikes will come down because of it. So you'll shoot 1, get those kills, get that bolt charge, reload, you have 2 shots. Boom, it'll give you the rest of your bolt charge. Second shot, lightning strikes all the way across, reload. Now you have 2 more. Same thing happened. You just roll with it, and then you have your arc grenade to throw, and it just synergizes very, very well in this build and works perfectly. Now for our heavy this season, we have particle reconstruction, so we do have the Queen's Breaker here. This is a linear fusion that has been crazy this season because of particle. Will it be good in future seasons? I think so. Anything with a crit spot, I think this will do well because it also activates your bolt charges. So lightning strikes will happen. Queen's Breaker, if you have a Titan on your team with the Storm's Keep, it's gonna go crazy. If you don't have Queen's Breaker, something that you can swap it out with is Thunderlord. It's a very easy to use gun. It synergizes really well with this build, and I believe I had that on my first build. On my first build, I believe I had Thunderlord. If not for the Titan build, I had Thunderlord, and that's because those lightning strikes, your bolt charge, and those lightning strikes all synergize, and you don't never have to reload. You're gonna get more bolt charge, and it just rolls into it. Really is like a snowball bolt charge lightning strike build. It works very, very well. Make sure you take this with you, because if I'm playing Warlock for the story, I'm definitely going to be using something like this, because I don't want to use well, and that's just me. So let's get into the second build that I think you could be taking into Edge of Fate for Warlocks, and that one's going to be this build. Now this is a prismatic build, so we're going to get into our weapons first here because we want Transcendence, remember? So Lost Signal for our dark Transcendence energy, Zoe's Bane for our light, and then we have Corrective Measure here again for our light. And the important part of this is going to be this exotic Crown of Tempest. While you have an arc ability equipped, arc ability or jolt final blows increase the recharge rate of your abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance. So what are we going to be doing? We are going to be rocking over here. Now, actually, I have this here, but I'm going to swap that to the Storm Grenade. So what you're going to want to do with this build is you're going to just spam Lightning Surge, which is this. So when you slide, you can blink forward and call lightning strikes down that jolt targets around you. So this works well with our strand melee because you get three. You get three melees, which are three lightning surges. Then you're going to pair this with Feed the Void. They feed a target with any ability, like your lightning surge, and activate Devour. Your Devour effects are improved, restoring additional health and grenade energy. So you get more grenades as you do this. You keep Devour, you keep lightning surge going on, and you get more grenades. Sounds great. Awesome. We're going to pair this with the Song of Flame. And I might be wondering, why not Storm Trance? Well, you can throw Storm Trance on if you want, because it obviously pairs well with the helmet. But I'm going to throw on Song of Flame because I feel like I need a little more oomph in my super. Storm Trance really does feel like tickle fingers, and Song of Flame just feels better. I would probably be throwing Nova Bomb because Nova Bomb is one of my favorite one of my favorite supers, but I feel like Song of Flame is just better for survivability and just getting things done. For fragments, you're gonna have Facet of Hope, Protection, Solitude, Dawn, and then Blessing here, and all of that works together because of the helmet. So you just slide, do your lightning strikes, get Devour, continue on defeating things with your grenade or your whatever else. You can slide again, and it's really strong, works really well. As far as boss DPS goes, this isn't really a boss DPS type of build. For that, I definitely go back to the all arc build here. But if you're just running through the story mode, this is going to work really well. It's going to be really fun. I definitely would consider taking this into the Edge of Fate. Now let's go to Titans and see what Titans are going to be doing. And last but not least is the Titan. Now, fair warning before I go through these builds, Titan mains out there, I have failed you. I was denying the fact that I am probably a Titan main after my Hunter, because I'm a Hunter forever. But I didn't like Consecration. I did not like that build. It wasn't fun for me, so I started playing Warlock, and I never went and got the exotic class item, okay? I never went and did it. I haven't done it. So none of these builds are going to have the exotic class item. If you have exotic class items, great. If you don't, well, neither do I, for Titans at least. So here's the first build. You're going to start seeing some similar weapons from the last couple builds because they just work. And don't worry, if you want to know a list of weapons you should probably be trying to go get, I'll do that in a little bit. Let's get through these first. Now, here you are. I have my Cycle Pump here again, Queensbreaker, and of course the trusty Fatebringer. Now, the only thing that's different here for Titans, I guess the fact that it's a Titan, is I'm rocking Curious of the Falling Star. This buffs up my Thunder Crash damage. It's very, very good, and you should definitely get this chest piece. It's, in my opinion, one of the best Titan chest pieces out there. For our subclass, we're going to be rocking the new Storm's Keep aspect. Now, all this, you can read it. All it does is you put down your Rally Barricade and you get Bolt Charge. That's how it does. It gives you a boost of Bolt Charge initially, and then you get more as you stand behind your barricade. This is good because Bolt Charge is just insane right now. It's really, really good. It's very, very strong, and I think it's going to continue to be strong as long as they don't nerf it in Edge of Fate. We're going to pair this with Knockout because Knockout is just the best aspect in the game. In my opinion, you get melee range, damage, amplified, you get your health back. It's just good. We're going to be rocking Thunderclap because big boy go boom. Pulse Grenade because I like it. And Spark of Shock, Ions, Discharge, and Haste. We're going to rock the Thunder Crash because that's what's our exotic buffs. And that's pretty much the build. You're going to get your super to bash anything with a big health bar, and you're going to use Bolt Charge and Queensbreaker to just knock anything else with a chunky health bar down. If you have Thunderlord's gonna go great here. I'd probably use that over the Queensbreaker because obviously we don't know if linear fusions are gonna be good in the future. We have Queensbreaker now because of Particle, but in the future, in Edge of Fate, definitely consider bringing Thunderlord with you. And that's pretty much it. This build is, in my opinion, foolproof. It works for everything, whether you're going to be ad clear, mowing through trash mobs, or you have to kill a boss, it's going to work. And that's just what my Titan is about. It is what works and what's going to get the job done. Next is this build. This is my Void build. Now you may be wondering, really, Armamentarium? Well, I like it, okay? It's easy. I'm not about super complicated builds when it comes to Titans because I just haven't played Titan that much and I want to play more, and I'm telling myself finally in Edge of Fate, I'm going to play more Titan. So here's my bow again. Destabilizing rounds, we're going to make things volatile. Here's my corrective measure. Works perfectly. And here is Witherhoard. Now, Witherhoard is here because I just want an exotic. Especially since I'm just using a basic light class, I don't need Lost Signal to get my Transcendence energy. Although Lost Signal would be good. Witherhoard debuffs, it does damage, causes blight, all that stuff. So I can just Witherhoard like the old days and use everything else. For Void, we're going to be rocking Twilight Arsenal because axes. We're going to have Bastion for Overshield and Offensive Bulwark for more Overshields. It also gives us more grenade energy when we have an Overshield. We're going to be using Vortex Grenades because I like them. I definitely would suggest using Suppressor Grenades if you want to suppress enemies. That's very good. Or something like Scatter Grenades, though I don't think Scatter Grenades are as good in PvE as they are in PvP. Shield Throw because I don't want to use Shield Bash. I want to stand far away, throw my shield. I think that's fun. Echo of Remnants, Echo of Instability, Starvation, and Echo of Cessation to create Void Breaches. Now, this build is all about just Overshield and Volatile. Since we have Overshields already taking care of our subclass, the Stabilizing Rounds is going to take care of the Volatile. So really, you could use anything with the Stabilizing Rounds. I like the bow because it one-shots most red bars, which will create the volatile explosion right away, which will make them volatile, which will let me just chain that constantly. Double grenades because it's easy, and I like to throw grenades. And that's pretty much it. It's just get your overshield, stay alive, kill things before they can kill you. Easy. Very, very strong in my opinion. This is probably what I'll be using default in the story mode, and then when I get to a boss, I'll swap to the bolt charge probably. Now, the third build here is again the good old consecration build, I believe. Yep, we have consecration, we have knockout. Now, I haven't used this build in a very, very long time. Okay, when it first came out, it's still very strong, but when it first came out, it was like really strong. I put it on. I didn't really like having to spam my melee. I wanted to play a different way, and that way isn't, I don't think, ever gonna happen. I like to play Titan as a tank. When Unbreakable came out, I was so happy. I wanted to get my shield, pop things, like destroy things, get my shield back, use my shotgun and get over shield. I thought that's what was gonna happen, and it just didn't, and I got sad, so I left Titan. But this build is very, very strong. I'm not gonna deny it. We're gonna be using Twilight Arsenal again because it's just cool. Consecration for damage and scorch and explosions, and knockout to get our health back. Now you're gonna pair Consecration with our Strand melee because you get 3 of them. You get 3. You get multiple melees. So you're going to Consecration, smash, Consecration, smash, Consecration, smash. You get a bunch of them. Now, here's where I think I might differ a little bit. I'm throwing Glacier Grenade here because if you can just throw your Glacier Grenade, freeze things, Consecration, smash, and just obliterate everything. I think that's going to be good, especially since Consecration is probably going to get nerfed when it comes to aspects in the edge of shape. I don't know how nerfed they're gonna be, whether Bungie's gonna drop it down to 1 or 2 or whatever, because right now it's 3, which is really, really good. So Glacier Grenade, just to make sure you destroy everything. With that, I'm actually gonna start over here. We're gonna have Faceted Ruin, which increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter stasis crystal or frozen targets, and increase the area effect of solar ignition. So this is gonna boost both your Glacier Grenade explosion and your Consecration explosion. So make sure you throw that on, whether you in the future you only have 1 aspect slot or 2. Definitely have that on. Next, we're gonna have Protection, Blessing, Solitude. This is just always gonna be on for me because of the severing, and then Faceted on to make us radiant while we destroy everything. Now you may be asking, what exotic am I gonna use? Well, you're the Titan exotic Synthoceps, obviously, to buff even more Consecration. It says when you're surrounded, gain increased melee and super damage, as well as improved weapon handling and reload speed. Melee damage, Consecration, Synthoceps, easy, 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 easy. That's Titan 101. Now, if you have exotic class items, if you have the ability to go and just go to Zur and get them, I don't have that. I never did the mission on this character. Inmost Light and Synthoceps, that combo, beautiful. All you need. Never take it off. After you get that, just run Consecration till they nerf it to the ground, because it destroys everything. It just does. This right now, this build with the exotic class item and the bolt charge build are just what Titans are using, as far as I've seen other Titans. So if you're a Titan main, you're coming back, just get your Synthoceps and get your bolt charge. You're gonna be good to go. And that is all of the builds for all 3 classes. Now let's jump into what weapons you should try to get and take into Edge of Fate to help you with the story mode. All right, we're back on the Hunter to go over some weapons that you should definitely go get before Edge of Fate. Now, these are going to be available in all types of different ways, and I will try to go through that. Starting with our primary slot here, Fatebringer. It's a hand cannon. Everyone loves those. If you don't love hand cannons, I mean, don't get it. But hand cannon, great. It's craftable, so you can just go play Volta Glass. It's a very easy raid. Just wait for it to be the weekly rotator and go grind it. It's so easy to get. You just farm the Templar, go get this weapon. Firefly, Explosive Payload Firefly. It's awesome. It's just a great hand cannon. Make sure you go get it. Next is Lost Signal. This comes from the very first episode. This is also craftable. You can get it crafted. One for All, auto loading, great. Error denial, great. And then it's stasis, so it works with all your prismatic builds. This is a perfect grenade launcher to have in your arsenal. Next, we have Tenacious Mastery. I already mentioned why this is a really good sidearm to get. It is very good, very strong. Go get it. Chill Clip anything is going to be something you want. You have to get this from Iron Banner, so you do have to go play PvP. You don't have to win. You can just farm experience and engrams and go get one. But you do have to play PvP, and I know that's gonna turn off some people. So if you have something with Chill Clip, definitely go get it. Next is Scatter Signal. Now, you have to wait for the rotator mission to go get this. The one for the bow, I think it's called Star-Crossed. But this is a very good fusion rifle. I have Overflow, but instead of Overflow, you can get Slice, which will sever targets, which is very good. It basically gives you damage resistance. They do less damage to you. But this fusion rifle is very strong. I use it all the time since it came out. If I need a fusion, if I need something, if I don't have Lost Signal on or Tenacious, or I'm using probably this if I don't have a primary. Next is the Supremacy. This is my PvP supremacy. I don't know why it's here. I just grabbed 2, obviously. But um, supremacy is very good. You have to go play the Last Wish raid to get it. That raid can be difficult if you don't know what you're doing. So just find a raid team if you can find one. If you can't, then that kind of sucks. But this sniper is very, very good when it comes to dealing boss damage. You could also go get something like, what is it called? Not this. It's called Succession. Succession is another primary sniper from Deepstone Crypt. You can go get that sniper from that raid. It's very, very good also. I just like Supremacy better because this is my PvP role and I like it. This is the role that you want for PvE. Rewriting rounds and 4 times the charm. This is my role. This is what I use. It's very, very good. Does a shit ton of damage. The only thing here is you could also put, I believe, kinetic tremors for this slot, and you'll just get kinetic tremor damage. But I believe kinetic tremors doesn't stack with other kinetic tremor snipers. So if somebody else is using kinetic tremors, you're not going to get your proc, or if you get your procs, they're not going to get theirs. So I just use 4 times the charm because I'm just going to be putting out massive damage with this. Great sniper. Awesome. Next is the Call. This is a rocket sidearm from the Final Shape, the Pale Heart. It's a very good sidearm. I have it from Gold here. I might change this out, but One for All is great. It gives you more super with this origin trait. It's Strand. It's good. It's a rocket sidearm. Use it. I haven't used it a lot this season because I've been using other stuff, but very good sidearm. Go and get it. And lastly is Adamantite. Now this is a support frame Strand auto rifle. It's very good, very strong. I have Slice and I have Hatchling here. Super, super good combo. You also have Elemental Honing here. This is just a great roll I have. Sorry. Unrelenting for more heals. I like Slice and Hatchling for my Strand builds. And this thing is just a great auto rifle if auto rifles become something that we were going to be using, because it works for our Strand builds and it's a support frame. So as you get kills, you'll load up your support bar, and then if you have a teammate, you can hip fire at them, heal them, and then heal yourself. It's super good. And something that is different about this particular support frame, one, you can get it from the current season. So if you come and play before Edge of Fate, you can go get this weapon. And you don't have to go get the other weapon, which is Solar, from the Pale Heart in the Final Shape, the other support frame. This one also says hip firing at allies' weapon charge heals them, and with rapid healing increases allies' weapon damage and spawning unraveling projectiles. So as you're healing your allies, you're not only going to heal them, you're going to cause them to do more damage around them if they happen to be surrounded. You'll get these severing little unraveling like little bugs around them. It's very strong. It's very good. I love this auto rifle. I used it a lot at the beginning. This 2019 power, obviously. I got this roll and I stopped farming this auto rifle because I love this roll on its own. Moving on to our secondary. Psycho Pump is here. Obviously, go get it if you can. Great grenade launcher. I already talked about it. I already talked about my Amnesis. Also, go get one. Destabilizing rounds. Awesome bow. Zali's Bane comes from Taken King. This is a little harder of a raid to do. It's still not super difficult, but definitely go get it. Go do it if you can. Just farm Taken King. Get Zali's Bane first, in my opinion, because this is really the only weapon that I have crafted from Taken King, because it's just that good. I love this weapon. It's so strong. It's good. Lord of Wolves is here. Now, none of my builds talked about Lord of Wolves. And that's because Lord of Wolves, I am fully expecting to just get hit in the back of the head, honestly. It is super strong right now. It just stacks Scorch, stacks Ignitions, and just destroys anything that's not a raid boss. And even then, I think it could really destroy certain raid bosses. Actually, it farms Templar really in one phase. Is it really? Well, I guess everything is one phase you're blocking, right? But it destroys Templar too. This is going to be something that you're going to want to take with you. for when you start doing raids and stuff like that. It's really strong. Even by itself, if you go full solar, the full solar class instead of prismatic, and spec for more scorch stacks and bigger ignitions, this thing destroys everything. Red Death is another one that you should definitely go get. I look at my enemy kills. I love Red Death because it cures you and it can cure allies if you get the catalyst. So it's very, very strong. It comes from the Pale Heart. So you do have to deal with that. But it's a good pulse rifle. It's strong. I like it. It heals. It keeps you alive. Especially if you're doing a legend campaign. Great pulse rifle to take in. Next is Lotus Eater. Now, this is another rocket sidearm, and rocket sidearms are going to be your bread and butter. They're awesome, they're great, and particularly easy to get right now, besides one. You saw the Strand one in my primary. You saw the Stasis one also in my primary. Now this is the Void one. This one you can get from Vanguard Nightfalls. Go get one. When it's the weekly weapon drop, definitely farm to at least get it unlocked so that you can go later on and just pop all your engrams if you want to get one. I haven't really used one this season because when it comes to void stuff, I am playing hunter and I want to use my bow. But this is something I probably use like on my warlock or on my titan because they don't have so much synergy with volatile as much as the hunter does. So this is very good, very strong. Destabilizing repulsor brace works very well. You have to apply the void stuff before you get repulsor brace. So it works really well if you can have a consistent way to apply that volatile. But definitely go get one. It's very good, very easy to get. Next is Choir 1. This is one that I'm a little on the fence for. I don't like the weapon just because it's a special auto rifle and I feel like it tears through ammo way too quickly, but it is strong. I don't have it crafted. I don't have the enhanced like perks or anything like that, but everybody who has used this weapon says it's great. You have to go play the exotic mission to get it. I don't know the name. If I remember, I'll put it on screen here for you. But definitely go get it if you like void auto rifles. It's a special. It's good. As from what everyone else has said, it's great. Next is Indebted Kindness. This is another rocket sidearm. It is also arc, so you get volt shot. That's basically what this is. If you're gonna get a rocket sidearm and a perk that has subclass verbs. So arc, jolt, easy. Void, volatile, destabilizing rounds. Next is our aberrant action, incandescent, solar, incandescent. Now this comes from the first episode also, the Vex themed one. You can go get it. You might have to grind a little bit to unlock it, but it's definitely good. Heal clip, incandescent, great roll. I got this roll and I stopped farming it because this was the only roll I wanted. It works well. It's good. Rocket sidearm, great. Now let's go to our power slots. You don't worry about gold tusk. This isn't what you're going to be getting. Queensbreaker, we have already talked about. It's good. Could it be good in the future? Probably. It's good now because of particle. So if anything buffs fusion rifles, Queensbreaker is going to be good. Corrective measure, I've talked about. Go play Volta Glass because the origin perk is just nasty and this is good. Tractor Cannon because you want to be able to debuff. You want to have options. And then Hezen Vengeance. This was my favorite rocket launcher before it got revamped. But it has this origin perk, this origin trait, where it doubles your magazine size and reloads from reserves. You can get bait and switch on this thing, which is crazy. Now, here is where I went different. I believe in this slot, people are getting... is it Envious? There's a different perk that everybody wants. It's a different perk combination, but it felt redundant to me because it was it happened to do with reload or something like that, and this is reloading. So I went with Cluster Bomb for just that little extra damage on it. But I use this all the time. I'm pretty sure most of these kills here, these 331 kills, is bosses. So Thunderlord, I mentioned, it's great. Let me read it here. Final blows with the weapon generates stunning lightning strikes from above. Lightning strikes grant stack of bolt charge, and it's strong against overload champions. So that's what the synergy was. It gives you one stack of bolt charge every lightning strike. So not only are you gaining constant bolt charge, say from if you're playing Titan, you have your rally barricade. Every lightning strike is going to give you another stack. So you're just constantly getting bolt charge. Very, very good. Take it in there. Make sure you have one. And lastly, you're going to want to go get a half truths or the other half or the slammer, which comes from Vanguard. This weapon comes from Dares of Eternity. You can go play it. You basically want something with eager edge. This is just for pure movement when you're trying to get through a jump puzzle or a very long like area that's very big. It's just movement. It's movement. It's good. Go get one. That's basically all you're gonna need when it comes to movement, and that's pretty much it. Those are the weapons I think you should be getting before you go into Edge of Fate. Now, this stuff is subject to change. We don't know what the artifact's gonna have. We don't know what nerfs or buffs are gonna come, but this is the stuff that I'm going to definitely have my hands ready to go get, because this is just powerful stuff. One thing I didn't mention, the sniper you get from Rite of the 9, the Izanagi. I think I can just show you real quick. I have 3 of them because I got them all characters. Is very good. This Izanagi is very, very good. For boss damage, if you can get the catalyst, definitely go get the catalyst. But you basically put all your sniper shots into one big shot and then fire. It does more damage. Very, very good. Make sure if you get the Rite of the 9 gift, the gift of the 9, you get this sniper. Make sure you keep it because it is very good. Other than that, if you're a veteran and you think there are any other weapons that people should definitely be getting, let me know in the comments. One more thing I want to go over is the mod customization. Now, this is probably going to change in Edge of Fate because we're getting Armor 3.0. But make sure before you infuse your Gift of the 9 armor, make sure you have stuff that you're going to want to keep and take with you into Edge of Fate. Use this right here, these loadouts. You can save your stuff here, get your gear, get your exotic set, go to D2 armor picker, put in the stats you want. You can even do that on dim if you want. You can do it here also. It's just a little harder to keep track of everything all at once, and those third-party apps really, really help you. But get your build going. Get whatever you're gonna use. If it's one of my builds, I'll put the dim links in the description, so you can go just easily get those. But if it's one of your own builds, make sure you set this up. You set your exotic up. You set your armor up. You masterwork whatever you're going to masterwork. And then you come here and you set up your surges. I know this sounds crazy. Maybe if you're a veteran, you're like, duh, this is just Destiny. You should be doing this. But some people don't do this. Some people go out there, they just put armor on. They don't know about the surges or the mods or how it works or anything like that. So make sure you're going through your armor here. You're gonna go kinetic siphon for your kinetic weapons to make orbs for yourself. You have ammo finders in the special heavy. You can even make more ammo for your allies. You can make them give them armor charge. You can all types of stuff here for you to do. On your legs, you have solar weapon surges or just general weapon surges here to buff your damage on those things. So make sure you go and look at that, lock it in. Then once you're done here, you have your build ready. You have the stats you want. You have the weapons you want. For instance, let's just throw on this build. You have the stats you want. Now my stats for this build aren't great, but oh, I didn't get my stats here. I have my exotics, I have the weapons, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to save it right here so that I have it easy access when I go into Edge of Fate. You want to make sure you have easy access. You can just swap from build to build without having to do all that. And then my suggestion, after you get all of that done, after you have the build you're going to take, you lock everything in. You can, for me, it's shift. Make sure you lock your armor that you're going to use. And once you have all the builds you're going to use, all the weapons you want, everything that's going to stay, you go and delete everything else. Okay, that's dramatic. Go and delete some stuff, make some space in your vault, because we are getting armor 3.0. And although this armor is going to be eventually outclassed by armor 3.0, at the beginning, you're going to have to crutch on your old armor. So you're not going to have all the perks, the perfect stat distributions or any of the tiers. But until you get those stuff, you're going to have to use your old armor. But that does mean that any other armor you have is going to be outclassed even further. So if it's not part of your build right now, if you go and load into Destiny, you're watching this video, you go load in, you're playing, you get your builds together, and you have all this armor left over that isn't going into those builds you're taking into Edge of Fate, that armor is probably going to be useless once Edge of Fate comes out, because you're going to be grinding more and more new armor, so you're never going to go back to that. So just get rid of it. No need to put it in your vault. No need to take up space with it. I'm going to have a whole other video going over everything I'm deleting, vault cleaning, character cleaning, all that stuff. I'm going to go through it. It's going to be hard because I'm not a super hoarder, but there are some stuff that I like to keep. But other than that, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if you do, don't forget to drop a sub.